Hello and welcome to the first episode of SITREP Marvel Talk. My name is Mike and joining me as always is my co-host Robert.
Hello.
And we have Bradley here as well today.
Hello.
And today we're going to be talking about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier TV show that dropped this week. Probably not by the time this episode airs, but yeah, on Disney Plus. So welcome, thank you for listening, and thank you for checking out the show. I think we're going to kind of get straight into it and give a little bit of a recap into what has been happening in the MCU up to this point, just very briefly with regards to where we kind of leave Bucky and obviously Falcon at the end of Avengers Endgame. Brad, do you want to give us a bit of a rundown?
Yeah, so obviously spoilers for all of this, and when we get to it, the actual episode will be full spoilers as well. So this is set, I think, 6 months after Endgame. So at the end of Endgame, Captain America has gone back in time and he's lived his life and he's an old man, and he hands down his shield to Falcon. And I believe the Winter Soldier has gone to Wakanda. Is he still in Wakanda at that point, or is he back?
I think he's back.
He's been rehabilitating from once being a Hydra, agent, and now he's trying to just sort his life out now that he's kind of free of their control.
Yeah,
he's now a civilian.
And then you've got Sam Wilson, who effectively has been handed the mantle of Captain America, aka Steve Rogers' shield, and where he kind of goes with that is where this TV show kind of takes place and kind of moves on pretty quickly straight from the get-go, I would have thought. Okay, so that's kind of a recap of where we are in time. Robert, opening 10 minutes this episode. Did you enjoy the first opening 10 minutes?
It's like the opening of a film. It's amazing. It's like it's like you're watching a Marvel film. It's brilliant.
I know you're not the biggest fan of especially like the first 3 episodes on WandaVision, but is this what you expected, what you wanted from a Marvel TV show on Disney?
This is what, when you sit down, you think, oh yeah, Marvel, this is what you expect. And that's what they did. It's good.
I did think the opening was very, I don't know if you guys would agree or not, but it was very kind of like Iron Man.
Yeah,
like,
Iron Man 1, yeah.
Yeah. Which is, it has quite kind of a few kind of throwbacks to definitely, I mean, we've had enough of the films at the minute. You obviously get in the Winter Soldier vibes in this entire episode. I think even some like the music harkens back. Plus you've got, is it Batroc, who is one of the guys on the boat at the beginning of Captain America Winter Soldier, I believe, that he fights.
Ah, is it him?
I think so. I haven't watched that film in a while, but I'm pretty sure it is. So it's quite good that, you know, you've got the mantle's been handed over, but you're still dealing with like the fallout of those other Captain America films and all those villains and stuff like that. It's really cool.
They had some they introduced a villain as well, like a group villain. It was like an acronym, right?
LFH or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
LAF was
LAF.
Yeah, so you got LAF was the opening antagonist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like the bad guys, and then there's another bad guy that's introduced. They have a really bad name, but I can't remember what they called it.
So I was trying to think, like, it's the Red Hand or something.
Yeah, something like that. The picture's like an earth with the red hand around it.
I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. I'll try and find out before the end of the show. But yeah, obviously that's setting up a new kind of thread line. But you've got the opening where, you know, Sam's obviously on a rescue mission to collect the army personnel from Batroc, and then I think the guy on the ground basically ends up being like his sidekick at the beginning of this episode. Kind of feels like that, doesn't it?
Yeah. I feel like he's gonna have a big role in this. I think he's gonna be like intel dude. They hit their handlers, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, and then kind of moving on from there, we've got Sam giving a speech over basically why he doesn't want to take up the mantle of not really Captain America, but why he doesn't feel like he can live up to Steve Rogers, because he's like this shield doesn't feel right. It feels like it's someone else's, doesn't it? Which is like a throwback to the end of Endgame, I think.
Yeah,
top of my head. Yeah. And then where do we go from there? We
do a flashback of. Is it a flashback of with soldiers, and he's killing people for Hydra?
Yeah.
Is that
yeah, he's having a nightmare, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's having like counselling for nightmares of his like what he's done in the past, and basically I don't know where he is, but he's killing like I assume they're supposed to be like US agents or something like that, and then at the end of it he ends up presumably shooting a civilian.
Yeah, and then the cool twist in this episode is effectively the guy he ends up hanging around with, Yuri. Is it Yuri? I think it's Yuri. Is his dad, and it's like, wow, because it basically feels like he's trying to make amends for everything that he's done, obviously because he was brainwashed by Hydra, which is quite nice to see. I think we're at a very interesting point on, because they've kind of alluded, especially in the trailers and stuff, like who is going to take up the mantle. Is it going to be Sam, or is it going to be Bucky by the end of the series? Because technically Steve Rogers gave Sam Wilson the shield, but he didn't take it up. So is it going to go to the Winter Soldier, which is obviously, I guess, what a lot of comic book fans have wanted since that opening, that scene where basically Bucky catches the shield at one point, and like Sam's like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's in Winter Soldier, isn't it, I think?
Yeah, when he's on the rooftop rope,
yeah.
Like Steve Rogers throws the shield and he grabs it with his hand. Yeah. And then I can't remember what happens with Bucky from there on.
So he's trying to like
live
a normal life, don't he? He goes on a date. He's having counselling for his like obviously nightmares. He's got a list of names, which I assume are people that he's either wronged or like things that he's trying to close off. But he has to do his missions by the book.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys picked up on it, but the book reminds me of Steve Rogers' book. It's very it's very odd how like a lot of this. I mean, I guess it's the whole point. You're trying to harken back to what Steve Rogers is like, but he has that book of like TV shows and stuff like that he needs to catch up on. Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember.
The other thing is, I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but Bucky wakes up on the floor from the nightmare.
Yeah.
Which is something that's discussed between Sam and Steve Rogers about how they're dealing with civilian life, like adjusting to normal beds instead of just sleeping on the floor. So obviously because he's ex-soldier, I don't know. There's lots of like little things like that harken back to other stuff that we've kind of seen before, which is really cool. Yeah. And then it's quite nice to see like a human side of Sam Wilson, who's basically, you find out he's like an uncle and he's got a sister and the rest of the family who are trying to make just a
Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam, yeah. It's just weird, isn't it? Like it's kind of nice seeing these people just a lot more humanized, like trying to make amends, like going on a date, which didn't really end very well. Trying to get alone.
Her.
Huh?
You just ditched her.
Yeah, he did. And then you've got frickin' Sam that's trying to go to the bank, and the dude's
he played with her pussy, and then he left.
What?
There's in the shop. There's a cat that does this. One of those cats that moves.
Yeah,
moves
there is. Yeah,
and they play Battleship.
Yeah,
they do.
What a great date! And he lies about why he's wearing gloves.
Yeah, there's. I guess it's supposed to be like this, showing the side of them after the films and like trying to be a bit more normal, and that's why it's not an action heavy first episode, even though that first action scene is really good with Falcon.
Yeah, they both get like an action scene, don't they? And
yeah,
that's it.
And then it's all sort of what we've already talked about, them sort of like doing sort of normal day-to-day things. And I only thought about it today that they'd not actually interacted at all yet.
No.
And there's only 6 episodes.
That's why I think they should have done a double episode to begin with, but being there only 6 episodes, it's probably why they didn't.
It's kind of cool though that in this episode that they're going on about Bucky when he's talking to the psychiatrist. It's like, you haven't wrung anybody. Like, Sam's wrung you like 1,000,000 times, and the only person you spoke to was me, the psychiatrist. So, I mean, it's kind of set up that Sam's tried to get at least in touch with Bucky, but nothing. He's just, I guess, trying to stay away and sort himself out. Maybe it's going to be interesting to see how they come together later on in the series. I mean, it's got to be like in at least the next episode or so.
If they don't, then yeah, that's going to be weird.
Yeah, but then it's quite nice seeing like them on 2 different trajectories, if you know what I mean. So one's obviously on a path to redemption, and one's like going back to normal life and family and all the rest of it. And it's quite interesting seeing like Sam go back to his family, and they're like, yeah, you come back, but we've still got to deal with stuff when you leave, and they've not got enough money, and he thinks he's just going to be able to go in a bank and get a loan. But it's quite interesting to be like, oh yeah, we didn't really get paid. It was more of voluntary work and stuff like that.
Did you, when they were doing that, did you think A-Train from The Boys when he was in the back?
Yes. I was trying to think what it was. Yeah, it was definitely A-Train. But it's so awkward when that guy's like, dude, can I take a picture of you with your arms
but I can't give you any money.
It's so awkward. But it's reality, isn't it? It's kind of nice to see that human side, which is kind of cool.
What did you guys?
Is there anything?
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, what did you think of that first action scene? I thought it looked pretty good. Oh, really good for like a TV action set piece. Yeah. It's like 6 or 7 minutes of him flying through a canyon, blowing up helicopters.
Chucks a dude at a wall.
Yeah.
It's quite brutal.
Yeah, it's a lot more violent than I was expecting, to the point. Well, I mean, it kind of felt like the opening of Winter Soldier, that kind of. But they have to do something. I felt like they had to do something new, because we haven't really seen much of Falcon at all. Like, we've seen bits of him, but
I love the classic, you shoot homing rockets at me, I'm just going to circle back and they hit you in the face.
Yeah.
Thing. That's really good.
And also going through the bloody helicopter at one point and taking all those missiles. Yeah. It's like.
Have we seen the Red Wing much so far? He's got like a little mini jet on his back, hasn't he? That comes out and it like lasers a hole in the plane.
Yeah, that little drone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Black Widow makes a joke about it, doesn't it? One of the films.
She does, I think, doesn't she?
Yeah, and he's like telling her to kiss it or something, and she's like, "No, I'm not kissing the drone. To say thank you or something." Yeah, I don't know. It's different, isn't it? It's definitely different to WandaVision from what we've seen so far. It's definitely a lot quicker opening, and then to be like, you're kind of comfortable, and then you kind of getting back to like the reality side of these characters, which we haven't really seen before, dealing with day-to-day life, and then I assume something's going to pick up, and they'll be like, let's go in the second episode.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be the story arc. They're going to like try and adjust to normal life, and then they're thrown back into it.
Yeah,
even if they want to be or not.
Well, and then you've obviously got what happens at the end of the show with. I mean, the whole point is, especially in this first episode, is they're setting up that Sam didn't feel like he was good enough to take over the mantle of Captain America. And then the huge twist at the end is they announce a brand new Captain America by the same guy that he hands the shield over to in like the first, 20 minutes of the show.
Yeah, he gives it to like the museum sort of place for it to be in a display with the Captain America display that's already there. And then at the end, he's just giving it to this new guy. I'm trying to find his name. I can't remember his name.
I think his name's John Walker.
Yes, it is John Walker. Yes.
Yeah. It was, I'm trying to remember,
I didn't recognize him.
What?
He's played by Wyatt Russell.
Yeah, so if anybody's seen Black Mirror, he's in that. He's in the VR episode of Black Mirror, which is really good. He's really good in that as well. So I'm interested to see how that plays out in the comics, because I don't think, not in the comics, in the TV show, because I don't think it plays out very well in the comics. I haven't read that series, but on that kind of basis, it doesn't.
Is he a super soldier?
I don't know yet. I am completely fresh with regards to the new Captain America.
There's another thing they introduced is one of the bad guys with the red hand thing that we don't know the name of.
The Flag Smashers.
Flag Smashers, that's it.
Yeah.
the best name.
One of them was obviously a super soldier of some kind, or enhanced.
Yeah, because he punches someone across the street. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the dude's absolutely huge, and friggin' Taurus gets smashed across the street.
Yeah, and then slammed.
Yeah, he's basically a super soldier, isn't it? So yeah. Is there anything you guys didn't like from this episode at all?
The fact that they didn't meet.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. But apart from that, I don't think so.
I know, Rob, you wanted like a double episode, but I think this did pretty good job introducing it, especially versus WandaVision with regards to time, because otherwise, if this would have been like 20 minutes long, like we had WandaVision and Mandalorian and all the rest of it, then you'd literally have had the action scene and then not much else. Then credits.
Yeah, agreed. They need to be longer.
I mean, what's the timescale? I think the timescale is meant to be like 8 hours in total, isn't it, Brad?
I think it's something like that around there. Yeah.
So is the last episode super long then?
Hopefully,
potentially, yeah. It's going to be interesting to see if we have any ties to Black Widow on this, because there's rumors that this was supposed to come out after Black Widow's was launched.
Yeah.
So whether we see, I think Yelena in Black Widow in this, don't know. And then we've got obviously Sharon Carter coming up later on in the series, and Baron Zemo. It's quite interesting we didn't get Baron Zemo in this already. I thought we might have had like a little tease of him at the end, but then I suppose obviously you've got the Flag Smashers, Super Soldier is kind of in there, and then you've got Bartrark. There's a lot going on in this episode already, plus a load of like throwbacks to the other films as well.
Yeah, it sets up a lot. I'd be interested to see how they finish so many plot threads in 5 more episodes. Whilst also setting up the future as well, because that's effectively what these shows are going to be doing. We're not setting unless it is going to bleed over into films.
Yeah.
Or they'll do a second series, I guess, maybe.
I think they've said that this one is more likely you're more likely to have a second series to this than you would have WandaVision. Just because I suppose of the nature of the show, but I don't know if it's been confirmed. I don't think it's been confirmed, but it's potentially been discussed. I think you might just have like one-off shows like this that just will feature different characters, like buddy cop style.
And WandaVision kind of leads into Doctor Strange as well. So
yeah,
already.
I kind of wish we'd done this for WandaVision, because I really enjoyed how that played out with regards to twists and turns and stuff like that. And apparently we're going to get something akin to that in this series, like the kind of water cooler talk, like, oh, do you reckon that's that person? Or, you know, like the little things that people talk about and speculation and stuff like that, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, spot the C-list villain.
Or is John Krasinski going to be in this episode of WandaVision? No, he's definitely not. And everyone was overhyped for nothing. The best. I definitely didn't get on that hype train. I guess a couple of questions before we kind of wind down. I know we're only one episode in, but who do you think should have the shield by the end of the season? I'm going to go to you, Rob.
I don't know.
Who would you want to see?
I feel like they should share it.
Share it.
Like good boys.
Well said, like a father, indeed. Brad, who do you want to see take up the mantle?
I want
at the end of
Bucky to have it, but I've wanted that since Winter Soldier. So
yeah, I'm kind of the same, but I feel like they've both earned it. I guess it depends on Bucky's redemption, isn't it?
Yeah,
and how good that is. But then Tony Stark's not really about any more to worry about that. So
I guess Captain America's supposed to be like this shining light, like perfect US like symbol, which is why the guy takes the shield out of the case and gives it to someone to the end, because he's supposed to be like a symbol of hope and peace. And it might be a bit weird if they gave it to Bucky because of what he's done, I guess.
I think that's the difference between Bucky and Sam, though, is like at the end of the day, Steve Rogers was just, all he had to be the best that he could be, was a good man. And if either of them can pull that off, especially Bucky by the end of the series, then I guess that's a potential. He has the potential.
They've both
maybe
been
to do it.
Captain America in the comics, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they can just take it in turns.
Fair enough. Do you guys think we'll see old man Steve Rogers at all?
No.
Not at all?
They haven't got enough money.
Dude, did you watch the opening 10 minutes of this? I'm pretty sure they've got enough money.
No, they haven't. I'm telling you, they haven't got enough money.
Okay. Brad?
I think he might be like in the background or something when, like, if someone does take the mantle of Captain America, like he'll be in the crowd, or it'll be like a cameo like that, maybe.
He's going to be like thumbs up.
Yeah, giving like a big thumbs up.
Thumbs up in the crowd.
He's going to be the new Stan Lee. He's going to be in all the films, just in the background somewhere.
I feel like there's No, what if he turns up like Doc in Back to the Future? Just at the end.
We've got to go back.
It's your kids, Sam. It's your kids. Fuck. I don't.
Do you think you will, Mike?
I don't know. I think it's fan service, isn't it, at the end of the day? It'd be interesting to see if we get anybody else, because I completely forgot about this. We've already had Rhodey turn up.
Yes, he is in it.
I completely walked over that. And even he's like, why didn't you take up the shield? You know, Steve gave it to you, you know. I wonder if General Ross will turn up, to be honest. I feel like that's probably more likely this series. And then we've still got the whole feud with Zemo, like what seems to be like a comic book accurate version of Zemo, which is going to be pretty cool.
Which one's Zemo? I can't remember.
It's the guy at the end of Winter Soldier that Black Panther doesn't kill.
Ah, yeah, okay, yeah.
He's the one that brainwashes Bucky again.
Yes, yeah. Because to start with, I heard the name and I thought it was the weird computer man, but that's not him, is it?
No.
I can't remember his name.
Zoloff,
that's it.
I know. Is his name? No, it's not.
Zorg.
No, I was thinking his name's Toby something, because I watched him on Detectorists, but that's not a Marvel TV show. Yeah, Zola. Yeah. He could turn up. You know he's on like a USB or something somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, he is.
Dongle around someone's neck.
Yeah. we could even see elements of Hydra in this at some point. But it'd be interesting if we see Sword, obviously from WandaVision, turn up, because that obviously seems to be Sword, yeah.
Yeah, Sword, yeah.
Yeah. Seems to be like the new kind of group that is taking over Hydra's position. Anyway, I think we'll leave it there. Do you reckon, boys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless there's anything else you guys want to add in there before we go.
Don't think so.
Looking forward to the series.
Yes.
5 weeks to go. Hopefully it turns out pretty good.
I expect we'll get more action scenes, and if they're as good as the ones in that episode, then that'll be good. Just, yeah.
Are we planning on covering the Loki stuff as well?
That's completely up to you guys and the listeners. You know, if you enjoy what we're discussing here and our talk, let us know. And also make sure to check us out on our other podcasts, the SITREP Happy Hour, where we talk about everything from the world.
And Rob pronounces wine horribly on purpose.
Yeah, it's quite nice to see you sober, Rob, on a podcast for a change.
How do you know he's sober?
I was about to say that. It's intravenous.
Because it's a Monday night.
Working from home, right? Anyway, that's it for this episode. Yeah, please give us your thoughts on what you thought of this first episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Just look for SITREP Happy Hour. And that's it for this episode. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.